Do the plagues of Exodus appear in Egyptian history? Skeptics often ask a familiar question. If the plagues in Exodus really happened as the Bible claims, why don't we find any record of them in Egyptian history? An event of such catastrophic magnitude surely would have been recorded by Egypt. It's a fair question, and the surprising truth is they did. But most people have simply never heard about it. There exists an ancient document called the Ipuwer Papyrus, also known as the Admonitions of Ipuwer. Written by an Egyptian official, it describes a time of total catastrophe sweeping across Egypt, likely during the Middle Kingdom or the Second Intermediate Period. What makes this papyrus so remarkable is how closely it mirrors the biblical plague. Listen to Ipuwer's own words. The river is blood. Men shrink from tasting, human beings thirst for water. Plague is throughout the land. The land is without light. All animals their hearts weep, cattle moan. These are not vague poetic lines. They read like eyewitness commentary on the very events described in Exodus. Ipuwer also writes, Upper Egypt is destroyed, Lower Egypt is a waste. He describes gates and walls consumed by fire, trees destroyed, and so many dead that the living cannot bury them all. This isn't a minor famine. It's total national collapse, exactly what Moses said would happen when Pharaoh refused to obey God. Skeptics argue that if these disasters happened, we'd see them in official Egyptian record. But that misunderstands how Egypt wrote history. Egyptian scribes did not document national shame. They glorified Pharaoh. They celebrated victories. They erased defeat. A catastrophe like the Exodus would have been a humiliation, not a monument. The silence of royal inscriptions is exactly what we would expect. And there's another issue, chronology. Many scholars acknowledge that Egypt's early dating system has gaps, overlaps, and inaccuracies, partly shaped by Sir Flinders Petrie, whose skepticism toward the Bible influenced early Egyptian timelines. When biblical and Egyptian records are synchronized more accurately, the era of Ipuwer lines up far closer to the time of Moses. So, does Egyptian history record the plagues of Exodus? According to the Ipuwer Papyrus, yes. It's Egypt's own testimony to a time when the land bled, burned, darkened, and mourned under forces it could not comprehend. Ipuwer didn't know Moses. He didn't know about the God of Israel, but what he saw matches the Bible with haunting precision. While critics claim the Exodus lacks historical support, the evidence says otherwise. The Ipuwer Papyrus, archaeology, and the internal coherence of Scripture all point to a moment when God intervened in history with undeniable power. A scribe from Egypt, 3,500 years ago, unknowingly recorded the echoes of God's judgment. His lament stands as a witness that even the world's greatest empire must bow before the Lord. History remembers what Egypt tried to forget.